Greetings ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mangs, and I welcome you guys to the third episode of Heroes Weekly, the show for everything Fire Emblem Heroes related. We have as always compiled all relevant Heroes news for you guys in one convenient place, so kick back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. This week we got a brand new banner focusing on dancers, with 4 new exciting units to boot, and they are all pretty interesting in their own ways. Based on feedback from the previous episodes, we will review the units in a bit more detail with a rating at the end, starting with Performing Arts Ashura. This exciting new version of Ashura wields an axe, and shares a similar stat spread to her original form. She is easily the best of the bunch. Her axe grants attack, speed, defense, and rest when she dances for someone, making her the best buffer in the game. We rate her a very solid 9 out of 10. You should be very happy if you pull her. I know I certainly was. Performing Arts Olivia wields a dagger, and her stat spread focuses on resistance and speed, which essentially makes her Felicia 2.0. She can dance, debuff, heal, and buff. A jack of all trades of sorts, but sadly, she hits like a wet napkin and is made of paper. We rate Olivia a 5 out of 10. She is not the best, but not the worst either. And on a side note, damn, her new artwork is a lot better than the old one. Performing Arts Inigo wields a green tome that recovers health to adjacent units whenever he attacks, and possesses Gale Dance, giving his allies plus speed when he dances for them. A decent unit, although his attack is extremely low. We rate Inigo a 7 out of 10. For all of his flaws, he's still very decent. And finally, Performing Arts Shigura wields a blue tome that heals adjacent units and Geyser Dance, giving defense and resistance to the units he's dancing for. We rate Shigura a 4 out of 10, easily the worst unit in the banner due to his meddling stats, but hey, it's cool to see a male dancer, I guess. In current events, there's a new paralog available which lets you face off against the dancers. Nothing spectacular, the story isn't really much to write home about, but there's some extra orbs in it for you. There's also still 5 days left of the Tempest Trials if you haven't gotten your 4-star or 5-star Black Knight yet, and you should definitely get to work on those points, because trust us, you do not want to miss out on this reward. The Black Knight is absolutely game-breaking. Also, lastly, there's still 2 days left of this Grand Hero Battle with a chance for you to earn your 3-star or 4-star Clarice, with the Infernal mode as always granting you 2000 Hero Feathers. Keep in mind that buff squads will be absolutely annihilated on Infernal mode, as this Hero Battle features units that turns your buffs into debuffs. I learned this the hard way together with Agim when we attempted this battle with my buff-centric Horse Emblem team during the last episode of Friday Night Heroes. Needless to say, they got absolutely slaughtered. Go check it out for yourself. And then we come to the character of the week, where we feature a selected character, show off some builds made by our build crafter, as well as some fan-made ones. And this week's character is none other than the Black Knight himself.
I am here to protect you.
The Black Knight is an armored juggernaut of destruction, sporting great attack, speed, and defense, along with his own personal weapon, the Alandite, a 16-might sword with a built-in distant counter skill. He also comes with his own special uninheritable skill, Black Luna, which is essentially regular Luna, but on steroids. The Black Knight is simply put amazing, if not game-breaking. He is a great frontline unit and an amazing duelist, with his skills giving him a massive edge in one-on-one fights, and he just gets better the more you invest into him. However, he's not invincible. Reinhardt and a lot of other blue mages will absolutely disintegrate him. Now, when armor buffs are considered, Black Knight goes from scary to outright frightening, becoming a walking fortress of doom and death. His best friend is definitely Hector, who also has distant counter, but any other armor unit that buffs him is a welcome addition to his squad. Overall, the Black Knight is a great unit that has a good kit and ways to work against his counters. You can't really go wrong with him, but keep in mind that he will eventually fall if you play carelessly. As always, all the builds featured here will be posted on my personal Facebook group Fort Mangs, as well as in the Heroes chat of my Discord channel, links in the video description. And then we come to the part of the show where we show off some fan-submitted builds, and this time around I've had Agim help me out by picking out a few builds and help me analyze them in more detail than previously. The first build we're going to have a look at today is submitted by Sorcerer Hex, and this build runs Fury, which in addition to increasing the Black Knight's overall stats, also helps by lowering his hit points after every battle, eventually bringing him into Vantage range. With Vantage active, he can kill frail mages that would normally kill him. However, if the mage survives the Vantage hit, the Black Knight usually dies, so it's a risky build for those who enjoy a bit of gambling. Threatened defense softens up the defenses of the enemies nearby, which lets the Black Knight take care of them with ease. The hit points plus 3 seal serves to patch up his rather low hit points, which are kinda shit for an armored unit. Overall, this is a very fun, but very risky build. Then we have this build submitted by Phoenix Jam, and this is one of the more creative builds that capitalizes on the Black Knight's high speed for an armor unit. Not taking IVs into account, the Black Knight is actually tied with Amelia for being the fastest armored unit in the game at 34 speed. With Darting Blow, the speed +1 seal, and the Summoner as support, all these bonuses combined serve to make him incredibly fast. On player phase, this Black Knight has 41 speed. This combined with threat and defense lets him net many kills, and Vantage still lets him be effective on enemy phase. And then we have this fan-submitted build by Yoshi. This build seeks to build on the Black Knight's already impressive bulk. Steady Breath increases his defense by 4 on enemy phase and lowers his special cooldown, letting him charge the deadly Black Luna skill more quickly. Threaten Attack lowers the enemy's attack, thereby increasing the Black Knight's survivability even further. The Distant Defense Seal increases his defense and resistance by 2 on enemy phase. Should the Black Knight actually take enough damage to get into Vantage range, he can get an attack in before he dies. All of his skills are tailor-made to make him a great threat on enemy phase. And lastly, we got this fan-submitted build by Kayomi. It runs Steady Breath, which is a very popular skill to put on the Black Knight, as it let him charge his Black Luna skill faster, though it requires you to sacrifice a Brave Ike. Vantage is also a very popular skill to put on him, as with his A skill, it really improves his already good enemy phase. The hit points +3 seal increases his overall survivability as well. Now, what is really interesting about this build is the inclusion of Attack Smoke, a skill for which a Bravelin needs to be sacrificed. It reduces the attack of all enemies within 2 spaces of the unit that attacks or is attacked by the Black Knight by 7. As the Black Knight usually survives more than 1 round of combat, this makes him a great debuffer. Whether or not it's worth to sacrifice both a Brave Ike and a Bravelin for this build, however, that's up for you guys to decide. The next character of the week is going to be none other than Performing Arts Inigo, so send in your creative fan-made builds to mangsheroesteam@gmail.com. We can't wait to see what you guys come up with for this lovely lad. And then we come to the challenge of the week, and last week we asked you guys to submit pictures of 2 characters fighting. We got a lot of great submissions, including a winner, so let's start with this one, called Chicken Fried Lobster, sent in by Megamouse, showing Faye frying herself a bit of delicious lobster for dinner. And then comes this submission from Sabdirzet, simply called Fuck You. Yeah, poor Sephiel, the old man simply got power creeped. As if this guy needed more reasons to go on a world-conquering rampage. Coming up next, we got this submission by Alex, called Evil Louise Finding Your Waifu. I think this one's directed at me, guys. Anyway, it shows up Clarice pointing her bow and arrow at my favorite daddy-daughter girl. Is it jealousy? Are they fighting over me? Girls, I'm sure we can come to a better solution than this. Why don't we all go somewhere quiet? And then we got this submission from Taku Meme. That's a very fitting name. Called I Will Defend My Homeland. Man, this one felt exceptionally cruel, especially if you watched the right kind of videos. The next submission comes in from Ultimage, and it's called Pure Overkill. I must admit, I was a bit biased when I saw this one, particularly because Cecilia is quickly turning into one of my favorite Heroes units. But still, it's rather impressive to see someone doing 272 points of damage in a single hit. Certainly more than she ever did in Fire Emblem, the fucking worthless. And then we have this submission simply called Sad by Blah. This really isn't as much funny as it is sad, but I felt like including it anyway, because, it's a little funny. This next submission is called Revenge by Graverotter, and it just felt right to have the previous submission segue into this one. I don't really understand why Ninin is taking out all her frustrations on poor Roy here, but maybe she thinks it's Eliwood? I mean, they are rather similar after all. Then we got this submission by Jirakwa called The True Ending, Hector taking revenge from beyond the grave. If only it was possible to save Hector. If only. This next submission comes in from Layla, and it's called There Can Only Be One. Now, what I love about this picture isn't just the 2 Sanders, but the fire underneath them caused by the bonfire proc. I don't know why, it just gives this whole "this is fine" vibe. I've always found that kind of funny. This next submission is unnamed, but it is sent in by AJ, showing off how Battle Before Dawn should have ended. I just love Ursula's face in this one. She's like, "Begone, shit unit!" And then we have this submission called #BeGoneFaye by Ebony, and to be fair, we got multiple of these, but I still felt like including one because it's such an easy joke to pull, and yet it's still funny because, yeah, poor Faye. Hey, I actually feel sorry for her, and I think she's fucking cute, okay? Yeah, shoot me, I said it, she's fucking adorable. I love me some crazy yandere girl. It's okay, Faye, you'll find happiness one day, I promise. And then we come to the winner of this week's challenge, and this time it goes to Patrick Rose, who sent in this submission called Lynn's Last Resort. Now, I like this submission for multiple reasons. We know that in Fire Emblem 7's story that Lynn had a sparring match with Hector in between one of their supports, which she lost, and I really think the submission is trying to portray that very match. The reason Lynn lost is because she simply couldn't get past Hector's thick armor, and he really just overpowered her. What I love about this picture is Lynn's focused pose, getting ready to strike at Hector while he's just standing there going, yeah, bring it, bitch. That Pavais proc looming above him is just icing on the cake. A very well done picture that really catches the pose of the characters involved to tell a really cool story. I love this shit right here. Patrick, if you're on Discord, PM me to get your very special role and join the club of people with golden names. You've earned it. For the next week's challenge, we want you guys to show off your hilarious and funny summoning results. Did you get extremely lucky, or maybe you got extremely unlucky, or maybe your results were just really bizarre. Perhaps you pulled only 5-star units, or maybe you pulled the worst units in existence. Either way, take a screenshot and send in your funny summoning results to mangsheroesteam@gmail.com. And do include a clever title if you so wish, and also your username, as well as your friend code if you want it featured. We will showcase the funniest results and pick a winner in next week's episode. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to wrap up the first episode of Heroes Weekly. Did you like it? If so, please consider leaving a like on the video to support the show, and do let us know what you think about it in the comment section below. Subscribe for more Heroes content, and make sure you tune in next Sunday for another episode of Heroes Weekly. I would like to extend a big thanks to my Heroes team for helping me make this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, my name is Finn Mangs, and I wish you guys a happy Sunday. Goodbye!